So you want to build an audience of buyers. You're sick and tired of just posting content that doesn't really attract your right audience. You're copying your competitors, you're not really very creative, and you're sick and tired of it. You want to be that genius that posts content and gets tons of engagement, tons of people enjoy your ideas because you've got so much creativity. People speak about it, they comment about it, they mention it, they DM you, and ultimately gets you paid and gets you clients. In this video, I'm going to show you how to unlock ungodly levels of productivity in 6 different steps. And this comes from someone that has 20-something thousand on Instagram, 1,500 on YouTube as you're watching this. And I'm attracting an audience of buyers that really care about my unique perspectives. And this is from someone that has literally worked with, tons of different creators, generating millions for my clients. And I'm just gonna cut to the chase and get rid of all the BS so you can actually leverage this framework and be more creative so you can start showing your best work and ultimately grow your audience. Without further ado, let's get right into things. I'm not sure if it's better I think it's better for me to be here, yeah. So number 1, creativity is learnable, not innate, okay? So just as a little background, I'm naturally quite a creative person, but it came from, years and years of practicing, experimenting. I was into fashion design, I was into music production, I was into drawing, I was into painting, I was into a lot of different things that you would call creative, but content and copywriting is a completely different creative pursuit, and I had to learn that, okay? So innately, I consider myself creative, but when it comes to capturing attention online, you need to understand a few concepts. Now, obviously, the first thing you need to understand is you need to be putting the reps in. A lot of people that I am coaching with my program and how to build an audience, build a coaching business, they are posting once, they're posting a video and then they're going on the insights and they're like, oh, Jay, based on my insights, do you think my skip rate is okay? Or do you think my, the average watch time is only 1 second? Is that good? It's not good, by the way, you need higher. But they're posting once or twice and then you're obsessing over the metrics. And the main thing is you need to be putting the reps in. If you can't be posting at least once a day, then this isn't for you, Or if you can't do that right now, what can I improve? What are the skills that I need to adopt in order to put the reps in? I post probably 1,000 times before I even blinked, before I even, thought about even scaling or whatever, right? Of course I looked on data and stuff like that, but the main thing is you're not putting enough reps in. You need to be putting in enough reps, get 30 to 90 days of data to then kind of move on from there. Another big thing is writing, Writing is a massive thing because a lot of people, especially experts and coaches that want to sell their knowledge and help people in a coaching program, they have so much knowledge, so much amazing wisdom. But the thing is, you don't know how to communicate that in an effective way to your audience. I recently watched a video from Sue. He's making 400K. Oh no, it wasn't Sue, it was Nick Setting. Nick Setting, he's making like $500,000 a month with his coaching business. And he explained it very well, and I want to articulate that again here. Just because you're very good at what you do doesn't mean you know how to communicate it effectively and simply enough for people to see the value in it. Because if it takes me, I've been in the online space for 3 years, I spent 3 years trying to learn this shit here. If I don't know how to simply break this down for you in a small video in 6 different steps, I'm not very good at what I do because I can't articulate myself simply. So a really good thing that can help that is just knowing how to write your ideas down in a succinct, easy way so you can then reciprocate that to your audience. Okay, so get good at writing. Even if it's 10 minutes a day of journaling or writing ideas down or writing down a story, that's really gonna help. In my program, I call that a splurge. 10 minutes of splurging, okay? Pattern recognition. Hopefully you can see this. Maybe I'll just move it a bit over here. Boom. Pattern recognition. This is a big thing, okay? What is the content that's performing for my niche? And what does it fit in a certain pattern? Do I see certain things? Why do certain creators do these whiteboard videos? Why do certain creators always shake their phone when they're about to place it down? It's just being extremely aware of pattern interrupts and different techniques and things that work so you can ultimately understand how you can leverage it for yourself. So it's just being extremely self-aware with the content that you're consuming, how they're being produced, why they're being produced that way, and just having that childlike curiosity. And that's ultimately going to lead you to some really great ideas. Now, one thing I want to say is maybe your first few ideas are shit. Maybe they're not that good, but it's, again, putting in the reps and really getting clear on, what your ideas are, what your philosophy is around life, philosophy around your coaching business, about the wisdom that you want to share. Number 2, control your inputs ruthlessly. I was going to say relentlessly. Ruthlessly, relentlessly, whatever you want to call it. Less of screen time and phone time and more of reading. Podcasts, reading, niche YouTube videos, things that are mostly longer form. The shorter the video something is, the mostly shittier it is to consume. Now, short form content, if you want to compare, short form content is very good for testing formats and ways of presenting information. Whoops, it's a bit shaky. Ways of presenting information. Long form content is very good for the information itself because there's more nuance, there's more research, there's more in-depth kind of breakdowns. So think of like non-stimulating long-form content. Podcasts, audiobooks, reading is like king in my opinion. I have to read more myself, but that's what you want to do. And once you do that, you want to be very good at, we're going to get into this a bit later, but you want to get very good at noting that information down and organizing it, okay? Building a second brain, if you will, okay? Another thing, different inputs, different outputs. If your content or if your ideas are shit right now, you need to actually be thinking, okay, what do I consume on a weekly basis? Literally, like, write it down. Okay, how much doom scrolling am I doing? Who am I watching? What is the Netflix show I'm watching? Like, literally, like, put your week into, like, what am I consuming? And what is the content that people are consuming that are geniuses, that make amazing content? Oh, they're reading different books, they're looking at different podcasts, they're researching stuff, they're having interviews, they're doing all this stuff that is probably completely different from what you're like consuming. So really get into the mind of who you want to become and look at their inputs. If you really admire a certain creator, either pay them and become a student and see how they learn and what inputs they have, or just be very self-aware again, coming back to here, and recognize patterns of what the successful people are doing, okay? Okay, so let's get on to here. Obviously, this is going to compound, okay? You're not going to have a genius brain from day one, but it's going to be from tons of writing, tons of reading, tons of like understanding information. One thing I want to put in here, once you consume information, let it sit. Go for a walk. The first 15 minutes, your mind is going to be jumbled. In silence, by the way. The first 30 minutes, your mind is going to be jumbled. But then after 30 to 45 minutes, you start to pick the pieces together and it starts to make sense in your mind. So go on silent walks, okay? Sometimes I even go on walks and listen to podcasts and stuff and then make notes as I'm going. But that's kind of stuff that you can do. Build a research habit in your niche, okay? If you're in fitness, as an example, you want to build a research habit. What are people talking about? What are the articles? What is the biggest people that have podcasts? What are the books I need to read? And what are people saying in Reddit forums? Sorry, that's what I want to mention because that's very good for this first one, which is what are people asking? What are people asking? And what are the open loops and what are the questions people have so you can make content about those specific things and get attention. Save what stops you, right? There's a really good software. It's an AI software called My Mind. Just search it up, my.mind, I believe, AI. And you can literally save all sorts of different content into this My Mind, and you can use that for idea generation, okay? Go for a 20 to 30 minute, 20 to 30 minute walk. 20 to 30 minutes a week, you want to do this kind of ideation, okay? You don't really need a lot of time, okay? In 20 to 30 minutes, you can probably find 10 different articles, 4 different podcasts, and 2 YouTube videos, and that's going to be your research. A bunch of short form content you can look at as well. Take the formats that are working, spin it in the new information that you gathered, okay? It's not crazy. Double down on the 5 to 10 outliers and do more research and more content about that, okay? I don't want you to be thinking too much in terms of content with top of funnel, bottom of funnel, middle of funnel, whatever the fuck. Focus on what works in terms of viewership, okay? And what gets you ICP followers and viewers, okay? So, and then you can always get more in depth, but people at the beginning, like 99% of you watching just need a bigger audience, more traffic, okay? So, Number 4, be dangerously fast and organized. Okay, so what I mean by that is be fast at capturing. If you see something that sparks your attention, don't like go out the app or go out whatever, close the book page and be like, oh, I'll get back to that later. No, take a photo, note it down, ask Claude to transcribe it, do whatever you need to do to capture the information, store it in like a Notion database or something. If you DM me like, I want the Notion database from this video, I might send you something, okay, as a gift. Store it, and then this is kind of the quote of this thing. Ideas die when you're neither. If you're not dangerously fast or dangerously organized, your ideas are gonna die, okay? You're gonna forget them, you know, dinner is gonna be made and then it's gonna be over, okay? So make sure you note things down. 5, strike when the iron is hot. And this is a massive one for those highly, you know, those editors out there, okay? The shitty thing about editing very like, you know, editing, scripting, the whole thing, is that you can't capitalize on this. When you have an idea, when you have a thought that comes to your mind, you don't want to be the person that's like, oh, I'm gonna like quickly make like a voice note, or like you could do it, right? Voice note or write a few notes and then get back to it later. You're not gonna have the same energy as when you initially thought of the idea. Some of my best content organically on short form is just me like, oh, I saw this cool thing. Let me just talk about it, you know? So idea hits, energy fades fast. So that's why you want to remove friction, take action now. Done now is better than perfect later. Okay? Done now is better than perfect later. That's a big thing. Take action, you know, post it, you know, go in edits, open your phone, start recording the idea, save it later. You can always revisit it. You can always revisit it. You can always redo it, whatever, but just do the content now. So cool. That's awesome. Speed is key, guys. Speed is key. Number 6, feedback loop from real data. Feedback loop from real data closes the loop. Okay. This is a big one. Post content, check results in 1 to 3 days. This is for short form content. If you're doing YouTube and stuff, it's going to be a bit longer than that. Look at the 90-day insights. The good thing about Instagram is you have the 90-day insights app. There's obviously lots of different platforms that have different levels of insights, but check the insights and double down on the winning ideas. Understand, okay, why did this video do better than the others? Gather the feedback, reflect, put that back into your creativity and kind of morph and update things and change things. This is the video, guys. Six steps to get more creative, like a god, like a legend, and post stuff to ultimately get you paid and get you the freedom that you want. I've got a school group. It's completely free. In the description of this video, you can join, and I've got a 7-day belief shifting challenge that can help you be more creative. Okay? Hope you enjoyed this video. Peace.